When I'm online, my name is Comet the Duck, and this is a new channel called Walking with Him. God has shown up in my life in so many ways, some quiet, some wild, and some of them so unlikely they stopped me in my tracks and left me staring in awe. The first playlist is called Finding Him, and it's about losing Him and finding Him again. This video begins that journey. I was searching for a path to God, but every time I thought I found one, my inner sense of right and wrong tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Nope, keep looking." Eventually, I got further and further off the beaten path, and I got lost. I was 7 when this story started. My dad was deeply spiritual. He taught people how to grow closer to the divine. And I didn't just admire that, I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to start my spiritual training so that when I grew up, I'd be someone worth knowing. One day, Dad was chatting with Mom, and I heard him say, "What my students need most is to develop their heart center." I saw my chance. I asked Dad, "Dad, how can I develop my heart center?" He showed me where it was, right there in the middle of my chest. He told me I had to imagine a growing light. A growing light? I could figure that out. The lights I knew didn't grow. Lamps only turned on and off, but a train. A train in a tunnel has a growing light. That was it. I needed an imaginary train in my chest. I practiced, and when I could visualize it just right, I ran back to my dad. "Dad, I got it! My heart center's growing! Can you see?" He looked puzzled. "What do you mean?" I explained. "The tunnel, the train, the light." He laughed gently and patted me on the head. Inside, I felt devastated. Dad did not take my spiritual effort seriously. He didn't see me as someone worth training. A spiritual path mattered more to me than anything else in the world, and I had been rejected. I didn't want to tell my mom about those feelings of rejection. Of course I loved her, but sometimes her way of looking at the world didn't sit right in my heart. It would be better if I could figure things out on my own. I turned inside to my imagination. Then I was climbing on a mountain, one I had never explored before. And on that mountain there were regions, and each region was run by a boss. Some of those bosses were hiring kids. Mostly they only hired kids they knew. And because I was new on that mountain, they didn't know me. So I just walked around and listened, trying to figure things out. Most bosses were dishonest or unfair, not the kind I'd want to work for. But one boss, he was different. He had quite a mixed reputation. Some said he was honest and fair. Others warned me to stay away. They said he was the devil. I went to see for myself. Sure enough, he had a forked tail. That gave me pause. Everyone knows the devil has a forked tail. But this boss was green in color, not red like the devil. So was he the devil or not? I watched him interact with others as they reported back from their jobs. He was tough, but he was fair. I watched him fire some people. He didn't tolerate laziness or dishonesty. He didn't play favorites. He didn't steal or allow others to steal on his behalf. He had integrity. I walked up to him and I asked for a job. He hesitated because I was new on the mountain, but in the end he gave me a chance. The job for kids my age was to be messenger. Run down the mountain, deliver the message, wait for an answer if there was one, and bring it back. I did the first job with care and honesty, and the next one, and the one after that. He wasn't quick with praise, but I could see it in his eyes. His respect for me was growing, and that was enough. I didn't tell either of my parents about my new boss. I was afraid they would react to his forked tail without seeing his honor and integrity. They might order me to stop imagining him. I was not willing to do that. The fork-tailed boss was the only person who matched my inner sense of right and wrong. To protect my ability to imagine him, I said nothing about him to anyone. Instead, I patiently waited to become an adult. Maybe then I'd be allowed a spiritual path. 9 years later, I reached the age of 16 and graduated high school. In my mind, that made me an adult. I'd waited for so long. I felt like it was finally time for me to choose a spiritual path. Would Dad see some worth in me now? Or should I try Christianity instead? I decided to try both paths so I could decide. I joined Dad's group on a retreat in the mountains. Their goal was to reach higher levels of vibrations so that one day they could escape the wheel of rebirth. They wanted to leave this dense and sometimes painful world behind. The group had been with Dad for many years. I had not. And so I was tolerated, but not valued. To get away from that, I hiked and spent time in nature. I tried to understand, why did they wish to leave the world if God had put them here? The world was beautiful, full of life, intricate, the trees, the rivers, the sunset. I loved it here. Surely God was the very best of teachers? Why try to hurry to escape? God would know when I was ready to graduate to something different. I trusted Him. I was nearly ready to make a decision. My dad's group did not resonate with me. But first, to be sure, I discussed my thoughts with a few family friends who were also Dad's followers. They told me, if you leave, you're throwing away an amazing opportunity for spiritual growth. Your dad is very advanced. If you followed his teachings, you could leap ahead by 1,000 lifetimes on the wheel of rebirth. And instead, you're choosing to remain stuck here for all those extra lifetimes? Perhaps my biggest surprise was my reaction when they said that. If my dad and his group were happy with their longing to leave the world, that was their choice. I didn't judge them for that. But their way wasn't my way. I felt a deep peace with my decision to trust God, enjoy His world, and let Him decide about what would happen and when it would happen. It cost me to leave the group. It cost me a connection to Dad and the hope of finally being given value by Him. It cost me having a spiritual path I could call my own. But deep in my heart, it felt right. A couple of weeks later, I went to a Christian camp. Sunlight, games, laughter with friends, music by the campfire. I found the teaching meaningful and the singing even better. I loved the joy, the gentleness, the call to kindness and purpose. For a few days, I felt like I found something very precious. It felt like home should be. And Jesus felt like a friend. But then the picture began to fall apart. They insisted that only those who said the right words would be saved. Others, no matter how friendly, selfless, dedicated, they would burn. That sounded so mean. I thought of my parents. They hadn't said the right words, but they were good people. My dad spent his life trying to reach God in his own way. Whether my dad's path resonated with me or not, my heart saw his efforts. A person who honestly dedicated his life to the divine, doomed to burn forever? That couldn't be right. How could I reconcile Jesus' love with this unbending judgment? I loved the camp, and it was very hard to walk away from this path. My heart cried at the loss, but I had to follow my inner sense of right and wrong. That fall, university brought new possibilities. Might there be another Christian group that was less opinionated? I found a campus Bible study group. They welcomed me with warmth and curiosity, and then they said, "Your parents are good people, just misguided." And they didn't say more than that. I didn't quite agree with misguided, but I could work with it. For the first time in my life, I felt I had a spiritual home. I loved the community, the shared values, the way we dug into scripture together. It felt real, personal, close to God. A few months in, filled with joy, I made my decision. Alone in my room, I said the right words, and I gave my life to Jesus. I didn't feel anything in particular, but I meant every word I said. When I told the group, they celebrated with me. That was the best week of my life. I finally had a spiritual path. The week after that, I arrived at the study group, full of eagerness and excitement. They handed me a piece of paper and a pen. A new study format? No, not exactly, they said. Write down the names of 10 people you're going to convert this month. My mind froze. They had never talked about converting anyone, not once. And suddenly this command? A quota? They hovered over me, waiting. Frantic thoughts flew through my head. I'm shy. I barely know anyone besides this group. And they're already converted. And then my thoughts landed on the only other group I knew, Dad's group. Was I supposed to criticize my own dad's teaching and try to steal his followers? That felt wrong on so many levels. To buy myself some time, I asked, what about other Christians? I expected them to say, oh, we support each other. But their answer stunned me. Convert them too. What if they believe a little bit wrong? And that keeps them out of heaven. Would you want that on your conscience? My heart was whispering to me, what makes them so sure it's their version of Christianity that's the best one? And then some other part of me said, aren't we supposed to love one another? My heart joined in. God would never keep a person who loved him out of heaven because of a minor error in dogma. He's not like that. My mouth opened and I said aloud, I can't convert people who are happy in their faith. Their smiles faded. The warmth in the room turned cold. They told me I was deeply and dangerously wrong in my outlook. And then everything happened quickly. They said, if you're not eager to convert others, that means you have not given your life to Jesus. You lied. If you lied to us about that, it means you're on the side of the devil. They looked at me like I was dangerous. Then one of them, more compassionate than the rest, said, if you repent now and change your mind, we'll give you one last chance. I reached deep within. My heart said, respect each person's path. I knew that following my heart would cost me everything. I didn't hesitate. I repeated, I can't convert others who are happy in their faith. They ushered me to the door and kicked me out. I was a 16-year-old girl alone on a huge, dark college campus. All the other nights, they had walked me to my car for safety. I paused at the door and asked, "Can you please escort me to my car this one last time?" They refused coldly. "If you meet a bad guy, he'll be on the side you have just chosen. If you get hurt, well, that's the side you're on. Maybe if something happens to you, you'll understand you made the wrong choice." I couldn't believe my ears. How could months of friendship mean nothing to them? And did these followers of Jesus not have basic human decency? I was in shock and heartbroken. I had just lost my friends, my trust in people, and my spiritual path. But I knew God was still on my side. I asked Him to keep me safe as I crossed the campus, and He did. After that night, I tried to study the Bible on my own, but opening it triggered a kind of PTSD, reliving that rejection. The joy of studying, the sense of belonging, all that was gone. Eventually, I hid my Bible. I couldn't stand the pain of looking at it. Without a church telling me which way to go, without the Bible to guide me, without friends to support me, how was I supposed to know how to reach God? I'd only been a Christian for 10 days. I didn't know enough. I tried to pray, but each day God felt a little more distant, and I didn't know what to do about it. More than 10 years passed. By then, God felt far away, and I was so weary of this empty life. So when my mom mentioned a new spiritual group and said they were not trying to convert anyone, I decided to join. The teachings did not resonate with me, not even a little. But what if God wanted my obedience? For Him, I would do anything, even this odd path. The books were dense. Rays, initiations, soul contact. Was this really His will for me? Just in case, I did my best. At a retreat, they asked me to be treasurer. That meant a lot. The job was simple: collect retreat fees and keep track of the payments. People shared their stories as they paid. Some had sacrificed so much just to be there. One family switched from cereal to oatmeal for 3 months, setting aside every penny to afford the fee. Others made equal sacrifices. It was clear that the teachings meant something to them. Then a well-dressed couple arrived in a brand new car holding expensive takeout. When I asked, they just smiled. "Finances are a bit tight right now." The new car? Just the lease. The expensive lunch? Well, we had to eat. The retreat fee? God said we didn't have to contribute. I brought the issue to the leaders. They shrugged. If that's what they heard from God, who are we to question it? My eyes got wide because I knew what was coming. The next day it was spreading. Others had heard from God too. Soon the retreat was in trouble. There weren't enough funds to even cover the speaker's airfare. The leaders had a solution. "We'll ask those who paid, who gave willingly, to give more. That'll make up the deficit." I was horrified. Do you know what they sacrificed just to gather the required fee? But the leaders smiled cheerfully. They like to support this work. They'll be glad to give more. They put it to a vote. Everyone except me thought the leaders had a great idea. I was shocked. I didn't have the right words, but my body knew something was off. It screamed inside. Was I the only one who saw anything wrong? Those with integrity or expected to carry the burdens that never should have been theirs, or they would risk being seen as not dedicated enough, either by the group or by themselves. This dynamic placed invisible pressure on the most committed, creating an unfair divide in the community. Maybe they meant well, but the leaders' choices rewarded entitlement and punished integrity. This shouldn't be happening, especially in a spiritual group. Every part of me rebelled. I couldn't be part of a system like that. I left. At home, doubt crept in. Had I judged too quickly? Could someone really pray, truly seek guidance, and still get the wrong answer? I imagined sitting in silence, asking God a question. What if God chose to not answer? Would I hear his silence? Or would I listen harder and harder till my own desires sounded like his answer? I wasn't better than anyone else. If other people could mistake their own desires for God's voice, what if I did the same? That thought terrified me. God mattered more to me than anything else. I couldn't bear the idea of speaking in his name and getting it wrong. I didn't want to hurt people or hurt him by claiming he said something he didn't. So I tried to reason it out. I thought, God's voice plus my voice, that's how things get mixed up. If I stop listening for his voice, then everything I hear is my voice. Any mistakes are mine alone and don't reflect badly on him. That was not a very good solution, but he mattered that much to me. I was willing to give up hearing him for his sake. Still, I worried. What if something urgent came up? What if God really did need to reach me? That's when I remembered something my mom told me once about an old saying. If you're waving at someone and they're not paying attention to you, then you pick up a big, huge barn door and you wave it in their face. Then they can't help but notice. She was talking about people, but I borrowed the idea. I prayed, God, I'm not turning away from you. I just don't want to confuse your voice with my own. Until I can tell the difference, I won't try to listen for you. Not because I don't care, but because I don't want to risk speaking falsely in your name. But if there's an emergency or something really important, send me a huge barn door signal. If I see a barn door signal, I'll act right away without question. I also knew that during an emergency, people tend to forget stuff because they panic. And this promise was not one to forget. So to be sure, I willed it etched onto my heart, written onto my bones, and for good measure, I even asked God to write it all over me. Barn door signal, act, no questions. For a while, I continued to pray, one-way conversations only since I wasn't listening, but soon I grew bored and sad. I stopped talking to him. 2 weeks passed. I still didn't know how to separate his voice from my desires. A year, 10 years, 30 years of missing my friend. Each time I met someone with a deep faith, I felt like a child peering through a window. There was so much joy inside. But the price of admission was always the same: convert others. Each time I approached that gate, my heart whispered, respect each person's path. So each time, I turned away. Eventually, I began to doubt his existence. Pretending God wasn't there was easier than living with the hollow place where he should have been. The story doesn't end here. In video 2, many years have passed, and I'm no longer sure that he's real. Then one day a friend suggests, Why don't you ask him? God, are you there? Eventually, I do ask. And in videos 3A and 3B, he answers spectacularly. This first video is a bit sad and dark in places, but honestly, I'm glad that this was my path. I love contrasts. The dark areas in this video make the lighter areas in the future videos shine more brightly. Now that I see every step, even the painful ones, they all brought me closer to him. I wouldn't trade that for anything. I still believe that each person's path is their own, between them and God, and not for me to judge. If that kind of space feels like it might be home for you, you're welcome to join us in Someone's World, our Discord community. The link is below. We don't all believe the same thing, but we show up with respect. And to the 10 people who subscribed before a single video was posted, thank you. Your quiet yes gave me the courage to begin recording.